Hi, my name is Priyanka. I am 16 years old. I am a current student at United World College of the Adriatic, which is in Italy. And before that, I studied at Epiphany School, which is in Guruarpet. The changes that I've gone through because of Maya are pretty evident. Like, I was really shy. I was like any other girl in the community. I never spoke up. Lots of people like bullied me, or then I was eve teased, or then lots of things happened, but I never could raise my voice. And I think it's after Maya that I realized that like it was important to voice your opinions. I just became really aware of what was happening around and just became really aware of myself. We really focused on values. So Maya was not just about putting up a show, but it was more about just like trying to discover ourselves through these 2.5 years that we went through. Then after the shows were done, we came up with this concept of planting seeds or then spreading your light. And I think these two concepts like just became so close to my heart because I realized that I had had life-changing experiences. Like I really grew as a person a lot over these 2 years, and I realized that it was important to like just spread this light in some or the other ways. And then I went to the college, United World College, and I always, since the beginning, I really felt the gap. Like I knew it existed, but then when I went there, it sort of hit me. Just like the difference between me and the other kids who are studying there. And that's how I realized that if it hit me, then I had to do something about it. And that's why even the project is called Bridging the Gaps. So I wanted kids who had these privileges or had the opportunities to learn skills. I wanted them to like get these skills that they had and like share it with the kids who were not getting them. So it's a 2-week-long project where we start visiting like 3 different schools. One of it is a low-income private school and 2 others are PMC schools. So we work with these kids in these criteria. So we work with the kids on English basic literacy, we work on public speaking, dance and drama. I wanted these volunteers to really understand where I'm coming from and really understanding the why behind the project, and that's why I wanted them to live in my house, in the community itself. And it's a big challenge of course because our house is pretty small. There are 10 volunteers, some of them who have never been to India, don't know how things work, don't know how the water is, the issues with food, with sanitation, like all of these issues. But the idea was just like them to realize that we're doing this for the kids, and it's important that we understand where these kids come from and what they go through every day. Yeah, just keep it there. There's slightly less space.
So far my impressions have been fairly mixed. It's very different from home here, and sort of it's amazing to have the opportunity to come into such a different world and such a different life here, and just seeing the way that the kids here are so full of joy and that they can meet a total stranger and want to know everything there is to know about them.
Coming here and seeing Priyanka, I mean like her mom and they face so many challenges and they face so many difficulties that so many people in India face, that unfortunately people like us who are born into privilege take for granted. And so that aspect of like interacting with her and her family and seeing where she comes from, it was very different for me.
मुझे तो बहुत टेंशन आ गया था, इतने बड़े बड़े घर के स्टूडेंट आ रहे हैं, अपना तो स्लम एरिया है, कैसा एडजस्ट करेंगे, रूम भी छोटा है और 10-15 लोग कैसे रखूँगी मैं, मुझे बहुत टेंशन था। वो बोली मम्मी तू मत टेंशन ले, मुझे भी ये करने का है। मैं बोली चलो ठीक है, तुझे करना है तो करो। हर देश का खाना अलग अलग रहता है, इंडियन फ्रूट्स उनको पसंद आए या नहीं आएंगे, लेकिन मैं जो खाना करती हूँ, उसको जो ब्रेकफास्ट करती हूँ उनको बहुत पसंद आता है, और मैं कोशिश करती हूँ उनका प्रोजेक्ट अच्छी तरह से हो जाए।
It's been an incredible experience. I was very worried about how I would conduct myself in these situations. I'm not from the community, I don't know what kind of like authority I would have with these children, if they would want to listen to me at all. But it really hasn't been that way. Like these kids have been extremely open to whatever content we have to offer. So I've just been very grateful of how open and loving these children have been.
I just want them to realize that they can always do things. Like I took time to realize that it was important to give as much as I can, and just understanding the importance of what they can do with what they have. Because all of these volunteers, when I first met them, they all were like a bit hesitant. They didn't really know if they can actually contribute, if they can like really make that impact.
I think I will have a different vision of the world. India is my first time really going outside of my comfort zone. And so I think from this I can get a lot.
You see these children who don't have a lot, but then they still come to school, they're excited to learn things. I was taken aback by that. And I think this will change me a lot and the way I see things. I came here as a person, but I'll go back as a very different person.
The first day when we came to a school where the children were quite young and there were many children in one class and their English wasn't as good as in the other schools, and I really felt incapable because I don't speak Hindi, and it was a lot more difficult. On the other hand, I wouldn't be happy if everything was really easy because then you wouldn't really feel like you make a difference.
We have quite a strict schedule and I have to share the space with a lot of people, and now we sleep on the ground and everything, but it's actually a very nice extra experience. You realize how good it is to have all those things, and when you've never been in a situation like this, you might take it for granted.
Experiencing living here during the project makes it easier for us to connect with the kids. Like, we live in the same conditions that they do, so we understand more, I think.
It's definitely eye-opening, and it's making me aware of other people's circumstances. It's very different to hear about it from one person and then to actually go and experience it yourself. Experiences like these, you always think about them, and then they always sort of make you want to be able to do more.
I think that when there are problems around, we need mobilization of people, and that mobilization of people grows into a movement that sort of leads to the change, or like helps people to lead to that change. Be a ladder and not a leader, and I think that just defines leadership for me. It's like not about leading a group of people, but just helping them to learn how to lead themselves and the group together.
I think she definitely has leadership qualities. She can just take everyone, like make us sit in a circle, make us listen to her. We need to be all together, we need to focus, we need to reflect on what we did, and she always does this really, like, she's not forcing us, she's doing it in a very good way.
I think many people want to make a change, but they feel like they kind of needed someone to initiate that change, and so I think like Priyanka, like a real leader, can make people understand that they are able to make a change.
Together you can do a lot. So a right leader can uplift and motivate a lot of people and bring a lot of change.
And what really touches me about Priyanka is that she still feels very much for this community that she's part of. And she's so willing to work for these kids and bring all of these perspectives that she's received from outside and get them here and get these kids inspired and like really motivate them into believing that yes, you can work hard, and yes, there is a life out there for you if you want to go get it. And that is what like leadership and change looks like for me.
I think sometimes we just need to come out of our boxes and just have hope, because I think I would rather have hope and like work towards it rather than saying it's not possible and not move. My devotion and like my understanding of this cause of like education for children, I think it will just deepen and strengthen over these years, and hopefully after 5 years I'll just have a deeper understanding of how I want to use a part of my life for this cause.